Good night of Shabbos, everyone. Shabbos, Parshas Ha'azinu, Shabbos Shuvah, the first Shabbos of the year, the first Shabbos of Tavshin Pei Aleph, but also the Shabbos before Yom Kippur, before the din that we received on Rosh Hashanah is complete, is chasam, gets sealed. I want to share with you this week an amazing Meshech Chachma, as we do every week, on the pasuk in this week's parasha, Ki Shem Hashem Ekra Havu Goydel Le'Elokeinu. And I want to start off by asking you, what do you think is the ideal lifestyle from a ruchnius perspective? What I mean is, what is the ideal religious lifestyle? A Jew who has the choice to decide for himself or for herself how to live. What lifestyle do you think would be optimal for ruchnius, to grow in Yiddishkeit? Would it be that everything is taken care of you? Baruch Hashem, all your physical needs, are settled. It's all organized, and you're able to bask in the light of the Torah. You're able to bask in the light of Chesed and do mitzvahs. Or the lives that we have. We're running from place to place. There's parnasa, there's shalom bayis, there's children, there's social, there's religious, there's different things in our lives that are keeping us busy. And in that, we have to find time for avodas Hashem. Which one is the tachlis? Which one, if we could choose the one lifestyle that we feel is the ideal, what would we choose? That's the question. Ask your children, ask your friends at the Shabbos table. Zok the Meshech Chachma on the pasuk Ki Shem Hashem Ekra. When I call out Hashem's name, Ki Shem Hashem Ekra, Havu Goydel Le'Elokeinu. This will give gedula to Hashem our God. The Meshech Chachma explains as follows. He says, Ki Iker HaTachlis Sheyisnag Ha'uma Ba'ofen Tivi Mushkach Prati. The Iker Tachlis, the Hashem's plan for having us Jews in the world, is that the nation should conduct itself in a natural manner, ba'ofen tivi, mushkach prati, with hashgacha pratis, with divine providence. He explains. That's when they go out and they work and they gather their grain. The makatza deganam, veracious, kol asher lo yavu b'beis Hashem, l'mashar savakdoshim. We go out, we work, and then we bring our first fruits to the Beis HaMikdash. So we're taking the mundane and we're making it holy. 3 times a year, he goes on to say, we leave our houses tachas kanfei habitachon ha'eloki, under the divine wings of protection. 3 times a year, the Jews are living in Eretz Yisrael, and 3 times a year they go up to Yerushalayim and they leave their houses unprotected. Everybody knows, all the neighbors know, all the Goyish nations around them know that there's no one for miles and tens of miles anywhere in these areas. They all went to Yerushalayim. They come to see Hashem's face, to be seen as well. When they go and they trust in Hashem, He's going to protect them, they're going to make more money the next year. And Hashem's fear is going to be on the Goyim. Hashem is going to bless them. Says the Meshech Chachma, Chayim kazehu chayim ruchanim. What's ruchnius in this world? Ruchnius in this world is not sitting in an ivory tower and learning Torah the whole day. It's very chashuv to do that. But it's not the ultimate plan that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has for the entire nation. For Yechidei Skula, yes, but not for the entire nation. The idea is a person works and he brings trumas and maasros. He works and then he goes to the Beis HaMikdash 3 times a year and he trusts in Hashem. Hashem is going to protect everything he's doing. It goes without saying. The person works, and as he's working, he has bitachon that whatever I'm doing is nothing. I'm doing my hishtadlus. I'm doing what I have to do. But whatever comes at the end of the day, however successful I am, or the opposite, it's all ordained from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I have no control over that. That's ruchniistic life. Lo came b'mei Moshe. This was not the case in Moshe Rabbeinu's times, where the boundaries of nature were broken, and everything happened. L'mayla min hatava, the man would come down from the sky, their food would come right to the front door. Halazeh yikor tachlisi, asks the Meshech Chachma. You're going to call this the goal? That's the goal of life. That's not living in this world with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's living in the world to come. when all the gashmias, when all my physical needs are taken care of, my clothes grows with me and don't wear out, and I have the Aranei HaKavod, the clouds of glory. Be'ez Hashem, we're going to Sukkot soon. I have the Aranei HaKavod protecting me, and I have the mun falling down. I have the Be'ez Hashem for my water. That's not the ideal lifestyle. That's not living in this world with ruchnius. That's living in the world to come. That's Olam Haba. That's life of the Malachim. As the Gemara says in Sanhedrin, the pasuk we say every Friday night in our homes. Eishes Chayil. Sheker hachein. Chein, beauty is false. Zedoiro shel Moshe. That refers to Moshe Rabbeinu's generation. That's Sheker hachein. Not that there was any sheker, they were doing sheker. But that lifestyle, from the perspective of what we should be doing in this world, is called sheker. That's not how you live in this world, normally. The hevel hayofi, and again, beauty is hevel, is nothingness. Zed doiro shel Chizkiah, the door of Chizkiah. Other miracles happened then. The Yidden, to an extent, were living lamaylam in hatava, above nature. Isha yiras Hashem, he sees halal. A woman who has awe, who has fear of Hashem, she will be praised. What generation is that referring to? Zedoiroi shel Rabbi Yehuda b'Rabbi Eloi. That's Rabbi Yehuda b'Rabbi Eloi's generation. Shisha talmidim miskasim b'talas achas. You had six, they were so poor, you had 6 students. At night they were sleeping, they were cold. They all shared one talis. They had one blanket for all 6 of them. A famous ma'aser, nothing to Finkel's Hatzal. So how is that possible that 6 people shared one blanket? The blanket, I guarantee, was not enough to cover all of them. It's only if, when the blanket goes on me, I push it onto you. And when it goes on you, you push it onto the next guy. Only if we keep on trying to cover the other person is it possible that all 6 were covered. So the Mesiris Nefesh, for each other, for Yiddishkeit, that's Isha Yiras Hashem Hisis Halal, says the Gemara in Sanhedrin. That is the ideal. That level of poverty is not, but that general lifestyle where we're plugging away, where we're pushing ourselves for Yiddishkeit, that is the ideal lifestyle in this world. Not Moshe Rabbeinu's generation, that's Sheker Hachein, not Chizkiah's generation. They had unbelievable victories. L'maylam min Tevel Hayofi, Isha Yiras Hashem Hisis Halal. That's referring to generations like we had. A year like Tavshin Pei, a year like we've had, that's Isha Yiras Hashem Hisis Halal. Not that we daven for that, but when we have that, we have to realize, as we discuss over Rosh Hashanah, how we deal with it decides whether we're successful or not. That defines our success. So ask the Meshech Chachma, if that's the case, that Moshe's generation was Sheker Hachein and Chizkiah was Hevel Hayofi, so why did Hashem do it? Why did Hashem make it like that? It didn't have to be like that. Why create a b'di'evet, a less than perfect lifestyle for those generations? So he explains, and this is true on a national level, and it could also be true on a personal level, and we'll maybe add even on a communal level. There has to be a tkufa, there had to be a period of time where the Jews in the beginning lived l'maylam min hatevel. All their physical needs were taken care of. And they were able to devote themselves 120% to the pursuit of Torah, to understand Torah, to see physically kimat, the Yad Hashem. It can never be seen truly physically, but to see much more blatantly Hashem's hand in life. They're able to work on themselves and create for themselves this clear understanding that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Melech. Hashem is the King. And his kingdom goes everywhere. It's only when a person's able to dedicate himself completely to Avodas Hashem, he can reach that level. Once the Jews in that generation reached that level, it became part of our DNA, says the Meshech Chacham. It became part of us. And now we have a connection to that, and we can reach that level. So Sheker Hachein was Moshe Rabbeinu's generation. That was Sheker Hachein. That's not the ideal, but it was necessary for the future generations for them to be able to survive in the ideal situation, which is what we call normal life. Says the Meshech Chachma, that's pshat in the pasuk, Ki Shem Hashem Ekra, Havu goydel elokeinu. Hashem, the Yud Kei Vav Kei, represents, many Chazals explain this, it represents l'mayla min ha-teva. It represents the Kadosh Baruch Hu breaking the Teva. Elokim, the name Elokim represents the Kadosh Baruch Hu within the confines, so to speak, of Teva, of the nature. Kishem Hashem Ekra, when I call out Hashem's name, that's the Mailam in HaTeva, when we had those generations, the Sheker Achein, the Hevel HaYofi, those generations that lived the Mailam in HaTeva and were able to create a DNA that understood HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world, and we were able to give that over to future generations, when Kishem Hashem Ekra, Havu Goyda Le'Elokeinu, that will increase greatness to Elokeinu, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu interacting with the world, Al Pi Derech HaTeva, with nature. So while the ideal is Havu Goyda Le'Elokeinu, the ideal is living the lifestyle that we're living, but that's only if before that came a Kishem Hashem Ekra. L'mayla min ha-teva. So there you have it. We're in the middle of a series of Tshuva, and we're heading towards Yom Kippur, and we're all thinking to ourselves, Vas Gate Zayin. What's going to be Tavshin Pei Aleph? What does Hashem have in store for us in Tavshin Pei Aleph? Like we've mentioned since before Slichas, there's anxiety. We're nervous. I don't remember being nervous before. I remember being anxious a little bit and excited what this year has in store, but actually, being nervous, and Kodesh Baruch Hu, please, you got to help us. We don't know what's going to happen. That's unique to Rosh Hashanah Tavshin Pei Aleph. When we come and we approach a Kodesh Baruch Hu and that Yom Oyim V'Noira, the holiest day of the year, Yom Kippur, we have to approach it in the following way. We have to realize that whatever Hashem gives us, that's what we're going to take. It's not about living a life of Sheker Achein. We're not going to daven, Hashem, please make it, everything is perfect. And so whatever you decide, we are going to rise to the challenge. We're not going to ask for a life that's Sheker Achein. We're not going to ask for Saras and Yisurim. We're not going to ask for challenges. But we understand that life is about fighting the Yetzer Hara. Life is about dealing with all these things that are pulling us in all these directions and focusing everything on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We should all be Zoiche in the coming year, to have a Shana Toiva Mesuka, to have a sweet year, a healthy year, a year full of Ruchnius, a year full of health, a year full of Parnasa, a year full of Nachas from our children. And as the recurring theme that we've been speaking about throughout this period of time is our avodah is to tell Hashem, here I am. Whatever you send my way, here I am. Like we discussed in the past, how our Kehillah unbelievably rose to the challenge of Tavshin Pei, and L'Aniyas Daiti were very successful in dealing with that matzav, that issue. May we be zoicha together into Tavshin Pei Aleph, whatever it brings. And it should only bring bracha v'atzlacha. But whatever it does bring, may we continue to approach it in that way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, here I am. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do. I'm not going to glorify a peaceful life where everything is perfect and bemoan my predicament where there are issues. There are things I have to deal with. I'm not going to hide from my problems. I'm going to embrace whatever issues I have, realizing we're living in a life of Havu Goyda Le'Elokeinu. We're living in a life where it's imperfect, and the tachlis is to bring Hashem into that imperfect life and create truly an Isha Yiras Hashem, he says halal, to create a life that is based on Torah mitzvahs. Wishing everyone a Gemar Chasim Tova, a good Gebench to Yor, a Sach Bracha, v'Hatzlacha.